Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter Constitution, Why and How, and now we are in the last segment of the chapter as we are doing Constitution as Indian Constitution is called a bag of borrowings because we have adopted so many provisions from so many different countries, and this is the reason it is called a bag of borrowing. But in this context, as we have discussed in the previous class also, we must understand that first of all, the purpose of the constitution makers was not to make a unique constitution, but the purpose was to make a constitution which could become successful in our country, which could work successfully in our country. So in order to make such constitution, it was very important to take advantage of the experiences of other countries. So we took advantage of the experiences of the other constitution, and we adopted some provisions from other constitution. But the provisions which were adopted from other constitutions were not adopted completely or as it was, but according to the circumstance and situation of the country, the provisions were changed, है ना. जैसा सर्कमस्टांस था उसके अकॉर्डिंगली प्रोविजंस को चेंज किया गया, ठीक है. और इस तरह से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का फॉर्मेशन हुआ. And the next thing is we see that our constitution was made in the 20th century in 1950, so up to that time so many constitutions were in existence, so it was not possible for our constitution makers to make such constitution which is completely new, है ना. ये पॉसिबल ही नहीं था, इसलिए इसको बैग ऑफ बोरोइंग निगेटिव सेंस में कहना सही नहीं होगा. यस, we have adopted so many provisions from different countries, as we have started in the previous class. Like we adopted this first past the post system from British Constitution. So what is this first past the post system? It's the system of election in our country which our constitution makers adopted, according to which different candidates who contest election from a constituency, the candidate who gets maximum number of votes gets elected. There is no certain quota which is required to be achieved by the candidate in order to win the election. So this is first past the post system. And other than this, we have also adopted parliamentary form of government from the British Constitution. So under this parliamentary form of government, we see that the parliament and the parliament and the executive are closely related to each other. The government is formed by the majority party in the government is formed by the majority party in the parliament. The party which gets majority in the Lok Sabha forms the government. The leader of the majority party becomes the prime minister of the country, and he chooses his ministers. And it is important for all the ministers and the prime minister that they must be either a member of Lok Sabha or a Rajya Sabha. If they are not a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, they will have to get this membership within 6 months of their appointment, है ना. And one more thing is there that the cabinet is collectively responsible towards the parliament. है ना. And if it loses the support of the majority in the Lok Sabha, the government comes to an end, है ना. Then fresh elections are done. So this is parliamentary form of government. Close relationship is there between the legislature and the executive. And next is the idea of the rule of law. We have adopted this idea of rule of law from the British Constitution. The British political thinker, political philosopher Dicey has given this concept of rule of law, which means that everyone is equal in the eyes of law. No, the law will not discriminate among the people on the basis of anything like caste or religion or creed or color or place of birth or economic status or anything, है ना. So this is the rule of law, and we have adopted this rule of law from the British Constitution. Then we see that we have also the institution of a speaker and the role of a speaker. All these are also adopted from the British Constitution. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha, institution and powers of rule of स्पीकर. ठीक है, जो स्पीकर हैं लोकसभा के, उनका किस तरह से कैसे वो इलेक्ट होते हैं, वोटिंग के थ्रू होते हैं, उनका क्या पावर होता है टू मेंटेन द डेकोरम ऑफ द हाउस. वो कब अपने वोट को कास्ट करते हैं, जब दोनों तरफ से बराबर अगर वोट पड़ जाए तो डिसाइडिंग वोट जो होता है वो लोकसभा का स्पीकर कास्ट करता है. अदर देन दिस सिचुएशन द स्पीकर ऑफ द लोकसभा डज नॉट कास्ट हिज वोट, है ना. सो वी have adopted all these from the British Constitution. And then the law making procedure which we have adopted in our country, that is also according to the British Constitution. So the last one is law making process. The law making process is like we have two types of law making process. One is for ordinary bill and the another is for money bill, and we have adopted this from the British Constitution only. For ordinary bill, the bill can be initiated in any of the houses. Then after passing from one house, it goes to another house, and when the another house also passes it with majority, then it goes to the president for his signature. And if then the president's signs is president puts his signature, his or her signature, then it becomes a law. So this is the law making process. And if there is conflict between the two houses regarding any bill, then there will be a joint session of both the houses, and in the matters of money bill, it is important to note down that it can only be started in the Lok Sabha. This all we have adopted from the British Constitution. A money bill cannot be initiated in the Rajya Sabha. It can be initiated only in the Lok Sabha. Okay, so these are the important provisions of our constitution which we have adopted from the British Constitution. Okay, and now we see what we have adopted from the Irish Constitution, the Constitution of Ireland. Okay. Irish Constitution. So from Irish Constitution we have adopted one of the most important and most valuable ideal, that is directive principles of state policy. So, according to this directive principle of a state policy, these are the directions to the state. When the state formulates policy, it should follow some directions, the directions which are important to bring justice in the society, to bring equality in the society. So, these are called the directive principles of a state policy, and this we have adopted from Irish Constitution. And these directive principles are not legally enforceable. It means that the state is not bound to follow these directive principles. It is assumed that state will follow them in formulation of the policies. Okay, and now we see the Constitution of United States. Okay, so what we adopted from the Constitution of United States. The most important provision which we have adopted from this यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज़ फंडामेंटल राइट्स, है ना. हमने हमारे यहाँ जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स, बिल ऑफ राइट्स हमने अपनी हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में प्रोवाइड किया गया है, दैट इज़ अडॉप्टेड फ्रॉम दिस यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. बट इट इज़ नॉट कि हमने सेम टू सेम अडॉप्ट कर लिया. वी हैव अडॉप्टेड इट अकॉर्डिंग टू द सर्कमस्टांसेस ऑफ आवर ओन कंट्री, है ना. So this Charter of Fundamental Rights. So according to this we have given so many rights to the people, like right to freedom, right to liberty, right to equality, right against exploitation, then right to religious freedom, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, and the next thing which we have adopted from United States is the power of judicial review and the independence of judiciary. So power of power of judicial review. This power is like if the executive or the legislature makes any laws, or the executive takes any decision, these decisions and laws of the government can be reviewed by the judiciary on the basis of this, that if the decision of the government, if the laws of the government violates any of the provisions of the constitution, then under this judicial review the judiciary has the right to declare that decision of the government or the law of the government as null and void. Okay, this is judicial review. We will read all these things in the following chapters, because ये सारे तो हमें पढ़ने हैं. We are to study the constitution at work. Okay, so this is power of judicial review, and we have adopted this from America. And the next thing is independence of judiciary. Independence of judiciary means कि our judiciary is completely independent. It is kept independent by the constitution, so that it can be free of any influence from the legislature as well as the executive, so that it can deliver its work in an independent manner, and this is very much important to uphold democracy in a country. Democracy cannot be established in the absence of independence of judiciary. So we have adopted this from the Constitution of America. Okay, and now we will see what we have adopted from the French Constitution. French Constitution. From this Constitution, we have adopted the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. So these principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity we adopted this from French Revolution, and we kept these principles space in our preamble. हमने इसको अपने preamble में जगह दी है, ठीक है. And now we come to the next, that is Canadian Constitution. What we adopted from the Canadian Constitution. So from Canadian Constitution, we have adopted quasi-federal form of government. What is this quasi-federal form of government? I will just give you a very brief information regarding this, because the whole chapter is there regarding federalism. Okay, so what is a quasi? A quasi-federal form of government. We have federalism, है ना? We have two levels of the government, one at the central level and the other at the state level, ठीक है. तो हमारे यहाँ जो फेडरलिज्म है उसमें yes, distribution of power is there between the center and the state, but our federalism is quite different from the federalism of US, है ना. यूएस के अगर फेडरलिज्म को देखें तो वहाँ पर क्या है कि स्टेट्स आर मोर पावरफुल देन द सेंटर, ठीक है. लेकिन हमारे यहाँ जो पावर का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया गया वो इस तरह से किया गया कि सेंटर को ज़्यादा मजबूत बनाया गया. डेलिबरेटली द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पावर इज डन इन सच अ मैनर दैट द सेंटर हैज़ बीन मेड मोर पावरफुल देन द स्टेट, ठीक है. तो इसको हम कहते हैं क्वाज़ी फेडरलिज्म, इसीलिए क्योंकि पूरा फेडरलिज्म नहीं कहा गया. हालांकि अब इस टर्म को हम यूज़ नहीं करते हैं. ये हमारा फेडरलिज्म डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ फेडरलिज्म, हम उसको क्वाज़ी फेडरलिज्म नहीं कहेंगे. बट हमने इस जो कॉन्सेप्ट को किया कि सेंटर शुड बी मोर पावरफुल इन द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पावर, सो दैट देयर शुड बी अ काइंड ऑफ यू कैन से control, or we can say there should be more importance to national unity and integrity. For that purpose only this division of power is done in favor of the central government. तो इसी को हम लोगों ने कहाँ से अडॉप्ट किया, इस सिस्टम को, इस तरीके का फेडरलिज्म जो है वो कनाडा में है और हमने इसको कनाडा से अडॉप्ट किया. ओके, सो द नेक्स्ट इज द आइडिया ऑफ रेसिडुअल power. ठीक है, रेसिडुअल पावर का मतलब क्या हुआ कि जैसे जो पावर का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो रहा है सेंटर और स्टेट के बीच में, है ना, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिवाइड्स पावर बिटवीन द टू लेवल्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट विच इज़ एट द सेंट्रल लेवल एंड द गवर्नमेंट विच इज़ एट द स्टेट लेवल. इन दोनों के बीच में पावर का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कौन करता है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन करता है. दिस इज़ फेडरलिज्म. बट जैसे कि हमारे यहाँ हमने जो सिस्टम अडॉप्ट किया वो कनाडा से ही हमने अडॉप्ट किया है. जैसे एक यूनियन लिस्ट है, तो यूनियन लिस्ट में जितने भी सब्जेक्ट है ना, उस पर कौन कानून बनाता है? उस पर हमारी यूनियन पार्लियामेंट बनाती है. इसी तरह से दूसरा जो है वो स्टेट लिस्ट है, तो स्टेट लिस्ट पे जो भी कानून बनाता है वो कौन बनाता है? वो स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर बनाती है. ठीक है. और तीसरी चीज़ जो है वो हम क्या देखेंगे, वो है दिस कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट, जिसपे दोनों को ही कानून बनाने का अधिकार है. सेंट्रल भी बना सकती है, स्टेट भी बना सकती है, लेकिन अगर किसी भी कानून पे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा तो सेंट्रल का ही माना जाएगा. और इसके बाद जो बचे खुचे पावर्स है, दैट इज रेसिडुअल पावर, है ना. जो भी जितने भी बचे हुए पावर्स है वो सारे सेंटर को दे दिए गए हैं हमारी कंट्री में, एज इट इज़ गिवन इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ कनाडा ऑल्सो, है ना. तो आइडिया ऑफ रेसिडुअल पावर को भी हमने कनाडा से ही अडॉप्ट किया है. सो वी हैव completed the chapter and now we have conclusion. ठीक है. What we find that our makers of our constitution were the people of high wisdom and foresight, है ना. They presented to the nation a document that enshrines fundamental values and highest aspirations shared by the people, है ना. ये उन एस्पिरेशंस को हमारे सामने प्रेजेंट करता है, उन फंडामेंटल वैल्यूज़ को हमारे सामने प्रेजेंट करता है जो लोगों के हैं. द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, they are carrying the values which are carried by the people of India, the aspirations which are there among the people of India. It is represented in our constitution, है ना. And this is the reason why this document has not only survived for so long, but actually it has become a living reality. It is called a living document, a document which is living. It means that it is adapting according to the changed circumstances. This is the quality of a living thing, है ना. Only a living thing can adapt according to the changed circumstance. But what we find about our constitution, that the constitution is adapting, है ना. So that is why it is called a living document. And we see that the constitution of so many countries have perished. They become defunct with the it was existing only on paper, है ना. Or there are countries where so many times the constitution was written down. So with our country this is not a case. Our country has we can say one of the most successful constitutions in the world, है ना. Our constitution is a unique document, and it is just an example for other constitutions also. Like साउथ अफ्रीका की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से काफ़ी हेल्प लिया गया, है ना. और हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बनने में काफ़ी समय लगा, ऑलमोस्ट 3 years. एंड दिस लॉन्ग stretch of time was spent on constitution making, because the constitution makers wanted to have a right balance, है ना. There should be a right balance that the institutions which are created by the constitution would not be haphazard or tentative arrangement, बल्कि एक ऐसा अरेंजमेंट करना है जो कि लोगों के एस्पिरेशंस को एकोमोडेट कर सके काफ़ी आगे तक, मतलब आगे भी, यानी कि बस अभी की वो सोच रहे थे. उन्होंने इस तरह से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बनाया कि जो भी एस्पिरेशंस आते जाएंगे लोगों को, कि उसको उसके अंदर एकोमोडेट किया जा सकेगा, है ना। सो इसी से जुड़ा हुआ एक दो आपके टॉपिक्स हैं। एक तो द फिलोसफी ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, जो कि इससे जुड़ा हुआ टॉपिक है, और अब वो आपके इसी चैप्टर में इंक्लूड हो गया अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिवाइज सिलेबस। तो हम लोग उसको भी डिस्कस करेंगे, है ना। अगर अभी तक में यहाँ तक में हम देखें तो हमारे क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस बनते हैं। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप देखोगे कि इस बुक में एक बहुत अच्छी बात है, जो सब टॉपिक्स दिए गए हैं वो क्वेश्चंस के फॉर्म में है, तो यू कैन वेरी वेल प्रिपेयर योर आंसर अकॉर्डिंगली, है ना। सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज वाई डू वी नीड अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। ठीक है, पहला क्वेश्चन यही है कि हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की जरूरत क्या होती है। तो उसमें हम सारे फंक्शंस जो है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के we will write down. This is the first function of the constitution, is to set some basic rules so that minimal coordination can be achieved in the society, है ना। This is the first function of the constitution. Then the second function of constitution is to specify who has the power to make decisions in a society, है ना, and it decides how the government will be constituted. And the third function of the constitution is to set some limits on what government can impose on its citizens, है ना। These limits are fundamental because the government may never trespass them. This is the third function of the constitution. And the fourth function of the constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the aspirations of a society and create conditions for a just society. And the last function which we have discussed in our book, that is to provide fundamental identity to the people. Okay, so these are the functions of the constitution. हाँ, इसमें आपको सेपरेटली भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, लाइक कोई भी एक सेंटेंस जो कि एक फंक्शन है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, वो लिख के आएगा कि एक्सप्लेन दिस, लाइक सपोज ऐसे ही रहेगा, एक स्टेटमेंट है, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन provides a set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination amongst members of a society. Explain the statement. तो इसमें आपको पूरा इसको elaborate करना होगा कि how the constitution, why the constitution should provide a basic set of a set of basic rules, and how these basic rules are important or compulsory for minimum coordination amongst the members of a society. तो इस तरह से हर जो भी फंक्शंस है उसको स्टेटमेंट के फॉर्म में देके और उसका एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए कहा जा सकता है। तो उस तरह से आपको अपने आंसर्स को प्रिपेयर करना होगा। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन होता है, वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, फ्रॉम वेयर the constitution gets its authority। कहाँ से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो है वो अथॉरिटी पाती है ना। तो इसमें हम क्या देखेंगे कि जो सबसे पहली चीज़ है वो है मोड ऑफ प्रोमलगेशन, कैसे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो है वो एग्जिस्टेंस में आया। दैट इज़ one of the most important factor which makes it more authoritative, or which make it to be more effective, है ना। तो promulgation, mode of promulgation क्या है। then second is the substantive provisions of a constitution। constitution के substantive provisions क्या है ना। then the third is balanced institutional design, है ना। तो these are the three factors which make a constitution effective. okay, इसी तरह से जो अगर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हम देखेंगे तो द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज हाउ वाज द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्राफ्टेड। So the Indian Constitution was crafted by a Constituent Assembly, and this Constituent Assembly was indirectly elected by the provincial legislative assemblies, and these provincial legislative assemblies were established under the Government of India Act of 1935, and the members who were to come from princely states, they were came by the consultation only. So these are the ways how this इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्रafted. इसमें आप पूरे पॉइंट्स दे सकते हैं जो बुक में आपका दिया हुआ है पेज नंबर 15 में, चारों पॉइंट्स जो उन चारों पॉइंट्स को लिख के आपका आंसर प्रिपेयर हो जाएगा. So this is all for today. We will continue with this in the next class.